I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on. But that train keeps a-rolling, on down to San Antonio. On down to San Antonio. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy. Don't ever play with guns. I hear the train a-comin'.
Hello Simpilots, it's Mando. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a topic that's fundamental for any virtual pilot. Flying solo versus flying with a team in DCS World. Flying solo in DCS can be an exhilarating experience. You're the lone wolf in the skies, making split-second decisions and executing precise maneuvers. It's just you, your aircraft and the mission ahead. Every move you make, every target you engage, it's all on your shoulders. But then, there's flying with a team.
Get everyone's redcon status, and then we'll lift
Picture
off.
this. Coordinated formations, tactical communication buzzing in your ears, and the satisfaction of executing complex missions with precision. Whether you're part of a squadron or flying with a group of friends, teamwork in DCS adds a whole new dimension to the experience.
1-2 is redcon 1. Wrong radio, mate.
Here's the twist. Navigating in a multi-ship environment is no easy feat. It's a challenge that not everyone is cut out for, and progress often feels elusive at first. However, armed with the right know-how and commitment to practice, you'll soon find yourself achieving remarkable feats together, evolving into a force to reckon with. Today our mate 331 took charge of a formation comprising 8 aircraft, highlighting key checkpoints crucial for collaborative flights. This episode delves into the realm of teamwork, offering insights into essential considerations when immersing yourself in DCS and flying alongside others. And now, join us as we follow the journey of a group of virtual pilots venturing into a team-based flight for the first time. Don't expect this to look beautiful. This is how it went.
2-3 up. 2-4 up. Platoon rejoin 090150 kph. 2.
1-3.
All 4. 2-1. 2-2. 2-3. 2-4. One, 2-2, are you in formation, you saddle?
2-1 shuttle, I'm not sure if I should be on your right or on your left.
You should be basically in line with you should be in line with the back end of my aircraft.
Roger.
So it's like a herringbone, so it's like staggered, so goes like left, right, left, right, left, right.
2-1 shuttle.
2-2 settle. Copy, slight forward, we're going to turn left 30 degrees, please come in left. 2 copies coming left.
1-3.
All 4. So I think copy. So I think to remember is when you're making turns, Obviously your lift vector changes, so for the guys in formation, you just want to add a little bit more power while you're going around the turn. And depending on where you are in the formation, you may need to either slow down or speed up. So for example, if we were in like a wedge formation or a line formation turning around the middle aircraft at the moment, the inside aircraft on the turn, so the ones closest to the Galilee essentially at the moment, we're going to need to slow down, and the guys on the outside of the turn are going to need to speed up in order to keep the formation. And that can cause, that can catch some people out, so it's just worth bearing in mind, worth something to practice if you can do. We're going to kick the speed up to 200 kph, leads on heading 300.
Two, three, this is the 4, do you have visual of the plateau?
Yeah, I have visuals.
Copy.
1-3.
All 4.
Lead, this is 2, just to double check, should I be on your right or your left? I'm getting confused because last time I was 3rd.
So if you're in the dash 2 position, mate, you should be on the right hand side of me. Back about 15 degrees off my 180 at between 6 and 10 rotor discs.
Copy. I'm a little under speed here too, I'm catching back up.
Copy. So another thing to remember for your wingman out there, and flight leaders as well, but especially for wingmen, is when you change collective, you're going to change the pitch of the nose of the aircraft as well at higher speeds. It's to do with dissymmetry of lift and where the blades are produced or where the rotor disc is producing lift. It can compensate for cyclic, well, a process called cyclic feathering, but if you change collective power, different parts of the disc are going to generate a different amount of lift relative to the power setting that you've selected or torque set you've selected. So what happens is when you pull back on the power or reduce the collective, the nose wants to rise in the hind, and if you add power, the nose wants to dip. So this can be a thing you need to watch out for, because as your nose dips, the aircraft's going to want to speed up. So you'll find yourself pulling collective out and the nose moving around, riding collective, the nose dipping, the aircraft speeding up. So when you're changing altitudes and staying with your lead, you just want to be aware of those effects, which are going to start to manifest themselves above about 150 kph. Likewise, when you're coming into landing, I think I see a lot of pilots do, trying to stop the hind very, very quickly, is that they pull the nose up into the air, pull a load of power out, and because they've done that, the nose rises and rises, gets away from them, and they stall the aircraft in flight and fall into either VRS or just drop tail first into the earth. So it's a thing to be wary of when you're making manoeuvres and changing those collective settings. It's how the changing collective is going to affect your nose attitude, which is then going to affect your speed, etc.
Lead to 4, flight is kinda formed.
Yeah, copy that, mate. Okay, so we're going to turn to 270. We're going to start a slow descent on collective down to 150 meters above the sea.
2.
1-3.
1-4.
And 1-4 close to distance.
4.
So far, microtech's actually off our right hand side now, about 315 degrees. So it's on about our 2 o'clock. What we're going to look at doing is the teardrop landing approach. As we discussed earlier, the first part of it is the entry into pattern, which always takes place 90 degrees to the wind. So as the wind's coming from 090, we can either approach from the north on a heading of 180 or from the south on a heading of 360. part of the start of your incident-minded approach is to assess the landing area to see which one's going to bear more fruit for you. So in this case we're definitely approaching from the south and heading towards the north on course 360 due to the presence of rising terrain and all the other factors there, there's forests etc that are going to make the landing approach a little bit more difficult. Once we've established our entry to pattern is going to be 360, we can start to calculate the rest of the legs. So as our downwind leg is a 60-degree left-hand turn, we're going to turn from 360 to 300 over the top of the FARP itself, and that's going to be a brake turn, so that's going to be a 30-degree angle of bank turn onto that heading. And as soon as we start the turn, we're going to start the stopwatch for that 45-second run, that leg out to the turn on base to final. Turn on base is going to be a little bit more gentle, a little bit more chill. It's going to be a 10 to 15 degree angle of bank turn. 200 kilometers per hour to 150 kilometers per hour, where we're looking to intercept the final leg at 150 meters above the ground, or above sea level in this case, doing 150 kilometers an hour, gear down, heading 090 for that final approach. And then it's just a case of reducing your altitude about 2 meters, between about 2 meters per second worth of descent, in order to bring us into a nice, slow, controlled landing onto the pattern. Slower, smoother's quicker. So we're going to do a 180-degree turn now, heading back the way we came, 090, left standard turn, leads coming left 090. So we're still in the descent, we're still doing 200 kph, and we're just going to manage that descent down to 150 meters above the sea. I don't think it's modelled in DCS, but we don't trust radar altimeters over the ocean. They can be confused by the water surface. They can also be confused by seeing through the water into the depth below. It can give you a false altitude reading, which is why if you notice on certain aircraft there's a caveat about using radar altimeters over water for position navigation, engaging certain autopilot modes, etc. That's absolutely accurate. I don't think it's modelled in DCS though, so we're just still going to work off that barometric altimeter. So again, talking about what we were doing before, because we're now taking lift out of the aircraft on the left-hand turn, we've added a little bit collective, which has made the nose want to move, so I've had to adjust my cycling pitch just to keep the aircraft at 200 kph and maintain that rate of descent in this left-hand descending turn. You'll notice everything's very slow and controlled and smooth, especially when you're leading a big flight. But in general, everything with helicopters should really be controlled and smooth and nice and gentle. Please come in level 090. Out of 200 for 150, so the descent's coming off in about 10 seconds time.
1-2 copies.
1-3.
1-4.
2-1 copy.
2-2. 2-3.
2-4 copy. So our fob here is at 3 meters above sea level, so the adjustment's really no factor. I can work off my barometric altimeter as really. However, if you've got a fob that's above that, so you've got some of them at 300 meters, some at 150 meters, you've then got to add that to your barometric altitude to get the pattern altitude, which is about 150 meters above the field. So we're going to start coming left now towards Microtech, and we'll set up for that approach from south to north. One's coming left, 360.
1-2.
1-3.
1-4.
1-2, close the distance to lead.
1-2 copies. Trying to close distance.
And obviously no one's perfect, right? So if you're up it, down it, if you're, you know, on speed, off speed, etc., just make sure you're looking to correct as best you can. Finesse that course, finesse that speed and altitude on. No one's expecting absolute pinpoint perfection, but just notice if you're out, make moves to correct it, but be smooth, right? Don't be throwing the aircraft around the place looking to correct, because you're just going to throw your wingmen off. We're looking for, don't let perfect become the enemy of good enough, right? Don't let seeking absolute perfection in something ruin an otherwise good approach or good pattern. Okay, so when you're being quote unquote assessed on your sort of check ride, don't panic just because you're 10 meters, 10-15 meters out, or you're 5 knots fast or slow, or something like that. Just try and make it as close as you can and look to correct as best you can. So we're now approaching from the south, due north, core 360. I'm going to add a little bit of right slip because we're getting blown left by the wind. So I'm going to come probably about 005 just to give us that slip. Probably about 010 actually. I've got about 10 degrees of slipping according to the DIS. And we're looking again for altitude, speed, and for that break point over the field. We must maintain that once we're over the field, we perform the brake, not before, not after. It's right over the top of the actual landing field itself. So here we go, I'm about 10 metres low, so just a little bit of collective just to bring us back up, on track, on speed, and then we're going to cross the field in probably about 10 seconds time. Yeah, on parameters, stand by for left brake turn, 300. 3, 2, 1, brake. And the clock started.
One, two is crossing over, starting brake.
Okay, rising terrain ahead, power lines left. So at this point we're looking to finesse the approach. We're waiting for the, obviously keeping an eye on the terrain, keeping an eye on those power lines. If they become a factor, then we need to adjust in altitude to make sure we stay clear of any hazards and threats. As it is, we should brake before we hit this hill, but if we don't, we're looking for escape if we need to increase the altitude. That's 45 seconds coming round onto final. So that's your 15-degree angle of bank turn, slowing the aircraft down now to 150, controlling with the collective, the cyclic, the rudder pedals, just to slide the aircraft around the corner. Use the anti-torque pedal if you need to reduce that speed, and a combination of cyclic and collective to bring us around to 150 metres, 150 kph. And look out the window, yeah? So don't just sit there looking at your instruments, look out the window, look for that sight picture, you know where you need to be, you know what it needs to look like, and then just finesse the aircraft coming onto that final turn. Don't be afraid to take a little bit of turn out and just let it flow. Use that time, use that extra space to bring the speed back, make sure you're on time, on track, on speed, on altitude. So the speed needs to come back a little bit more, I'm a little bit hot.
One 3 base. 3 greens.
1-4 base.
1-1 final, 3 greens, set left, stack right. Hines, go for the far pads.
Flight base.
1-2 copies. Turning final, gear coming down.
Another consideration, if you're having trouble seeing under the nose of the aircraft, which can be one for the Hines, you can also cross-control the aircraft. Boot the nose out to the right, use the cyclic to cross-control the aircraft and get that sight picture at the left-hand window. Same with the hip if you need to. Make sure the speed's coming down and altitude's dropping. All you're doing is changing the aircraft's orientation, you're not changing the vector of flight.
103 read.
And we're looking to terminate to a hover over the pad. The last sort of 50-20 metres or so should be at a walking pace to allow you to smoothly terminate.
2-4 flight until final.
1.
One 213 is passing on the right.
Copy, 1 touchdown.
1-2 copies.
So hips, if you're first in line, you want to be on the left hand side. First aircraft stacked, the rest of them stack on the right hand side. Looking good from here.
Down.
2-1 down.
Thanks for watching, and if you want to check out the landing pattern that you saw in this video, head over to our website and you can download it for your kneeboard over there. Until next time, have a safe flight and see you on the field.